I met Joe when I was 16 years old. We started dating throughout high school. Friday night football games, Saturday night dates. We were high school sweethearts. Dated through my first 2 years of college. Then I left and went to Auburn to nursing school. When I was in nursing school, found out that I was pregnant. I was the good girl. Things like that were not supposed to happen to me. I was from a good Christian family. There were plans that were made for my life. You were to graduate college, get the job, start the career, get married, and then have babies. But things changed. Joe and I were actually broken up whenever I found out that I was pregnant. I was alone, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I had taken a friend to have an abortion. I dropped her off at the front door, came back later and picked her up, and nothing was ever said about it. When I found out that I was pregnant, I felt that that was one of my choices, because I knew that I would be an embarrassment to my family. Good girls didn't do things like that, and good girls didn't get pregnant. I called Joe, just needed someone to talk to. Talked to him, told him I was pregnant, just needed somebody to listen to me. I had been to PRC in Auburn, where I was going to school at. They verified the fact that I was pregnant, talked to me about what my options were, non-judgmental, told me that it was okay, that God loved me, and just told me the different things, the options there, and just prayed with me. When I called Joe and talked with him, he came up to Auburn and met me, and we spent some time together talking, and we decided that we were going to get married. One of the hardest things I ever had to do was telling my family, because I knew that I was going to be a disappointment. But I told them, and it was rough. There were hurt feelings, and disappointment, and embarrassment. But we worked through it, and 3 weeks after I told them, we got married. Then 5 months after we were married, I gave birth to Jared. That was a big change.
God used the birth of our son to dramatically change my life. I grew up in a Christian home. Karen and I even attended church after we were married. I believed in God growing up, but because of some things that had happened in my life, I came to a place that I didn't believe in God anymore, that God didn't exist. I remember the day that Jared was born. I can remember seeing his face, seeing that little body for the very first time. And it was at that moment I remember thinking that God surely must exist, that there must be a God. For surely I could not have created a life that was so precious and so beautiful as this.
Jared is now 21 years old and one of the lights of my life. He loved to play football. Friday nights of his high school years, we were at every game watching him play. He graduated high school, he was salutatorian, and now he's a junior at the Air Force Academy, with plans to save the world. He hopes to be a pilot and fly helicopters for the parajumpers because he has always been a rescuer, and that's what he wants to do, is rescue people. He was the rescue for Joe and I, and at that time we didn't know it. And I am so proud of him. And his grandparents are so proud of him. The little boy that might not have been. But for the PRC in Auburn, Alabama.